So these are my sketchbooks since 2015, I think the first one starts. So this first sketch is from December of 2014, and we go all the way up until now, currently. And I have 2, 4, 6, 7 sketchbooks in front of me. I can count, it's great, and we love it. So we're just going to start here with this sketchbook. This is the oldest sketchbooks that we have. It's also really small and really short. This is my favorite spread from this sketchbook. This page was my first attempt at stippling, I think, ever. I think it turned out really, really well, actually. Oh, hi, Hagrid. You'll notice throughout all of the flip-throughs that the sketchbooks are also used a lot as little journals. A lot of poems are in there. It's the end of that sketchbook. And then here we have this moleskin. It's a soft cover moleskin. This sticker and these two. And I think this one, but he's canceled, so don't even look at that. These are from my friend Natalie, Ketchup Kiddo, on Instagram. She's a beautiful, wonderful artist, and I will link her stuff below. And this sticker, as well as this and many other stickers that you'll see on other sketchbooks, are by a French artist. And so this sketchbook starts in May of 2016 and it ends in August of 2016. So the whole beginning of this sketchbook, you'll notice, is a lot of text. I brought this sketchbook with me on choir tour to Germany, so it with me a lot. So now that we're out of Germany, we start seeing some more actual sketches rather than just using the book as a sort of journal. So you'll notice through all of these that I really, really have a thing for drawing faces. That's kind of the only thing I do draw. It's what I most enjoy drawing. I think it's extremely expressive to draw faces and people. But you will see throughout, we go from drawing in this style and the style that you kind of saw a little bit more throughout the smaller sketchbook, and we venture more into realism throughout the next sketchbooks, and especially in the current sketchbook. You'll also notice that my sketchbooks get a little more clean, I think, throughout. Instead of, drawing when I'm bored, I kind of just go on Instagram, which I'm trying to do less of. And so that is 2016, which was my senior year of high school, by the way. And so this sketchbook is spring of my senior year of high school and fall of my freshman year of college. And this sketchbook is a pentalic, and it's actually, I think, one of my favorite small sketchbooks I've worked with, and it was pretty inexpensive at my school bookstore, which is why I bought it. And I think in this sketchbook is kind of when I try to explore a little bit more of things that are out of my comfort zone. See, I did like 3 days of Inktober, doing some studies of mouths and noses and things like that throughout this, you'll see. Just because, of course, I'm trying to better myself, which is what the whole point of a sketchbook is. What I love about going through sketchbooks is I'm going to compile a post later on of all of the different self-portraits through the years. Some of them are, like quick little doodles. Them I try to do from life, from a mirror or from a photograph, and just try to capture myself. And some of them I think I did very well on, some of them I think I did very not well on. And it's just really cool to not only see my drawing growth, but me physically growth. I don't know if you can see it very well, but this is Coca-Cola can, Coke on paper. Another collage. Big fan of that one. Dude, oh my god. Are you just gonna sit there? Because you're right in my way. I can tell you that for sure. Yes, you are. Oh my god. No! Oh my god, dude, come over here. It's my favorite idiot. Sorry for the interruption. The sketchbook started August 30th of 2016 and was finished April 21st of 2017. Hagrid is very interested by this, apparently. Oh my god. Alright, I might have to resume this in a bit. I'm gonna go play with the cat. Alright, hi, I'm back. He just needed a little play. So, like I was saying, this is the sketchbook that I use for art classes when I need to make in-class sketches or sketches for class. And this was required for AP art, and I never finished it because it's pretty big, as you see. Oh, do you still need to play? Alright, so I'm back. So my concentration for AP art actually was faces, and it was my first painted faces, portraits of people mid-laugh, mid-bite. Somebody was putting in context, so they're just kind of the more vulnerable, less flattering moments of life, you know, but that are necessary, and they happen, and they're beautiful and wonderful, and, you know, we love laughter and eating. I'm realizing there are a lot of canceled people throughout my sketchbooks here. Time makes us older, and children get bolder or something. A lot of these drawings, you know, thumbnails were for larger projects. This is a drawing by my friend Arden. She is an illustrator and an animator, and she's such a talented artist, and I will also link her. And this is when my love affair with Alice Neal started. She's just so incredible, and I was assigned to go look at that piece at the Met Museum. What are you doing?
Hi. Hi. You know, you're right on top of all of my things. Yes, you are.
Well, he looks comfy. Oh my god. Come here. What are you doing? You're just a little baby, and you are so on top of all of my things. Thank you for that. How do I do this nicely? Okay. I do love him with every fiber of my being, but... And this, my portfolio at the time, in 2015. If you want to check my full portfolio now, I guess I can link my website or something. It's much different than that. This is a spread of some of my favorite Jenny Holzer pieces. Kind of just put them together in this sketchbook. I think it's really important to keep people that inspire you and pieces that inspire you at arm's length so that you're kind of able, you know, to flip back and reach back to them. At the bottom here I have a quote that reads, "Jenny Holzer uses the mediums of the oppressor to liberate us. She transforms the language of the advertisers, the propagandists, the human rights abusers into disruption and dialogue. A seer channeling the anxiety of the zeitgeist and turning it into protest, pronouncement, progress." Which is part of the reason I love Jenny Holzer so much. I have a Jenny Holzer tattoo. Alright, so here's when we get into college. I started using this sketchbook for my 3D art class, which was really just kind of woodworking. And what I ended up building in this class assignment was to reimagine a children's toy. And I made a dollhouse entitled The Home of a Girl Interrupted. And it was like 3 floors, and each floor was a different aspect of mental illness, such as OCD, depression, things like that. Here's a lunch bag I did during work one day, and it is a statue of John the Baptist from a monastery in Minnesota. And this was a very controversial statue, evidently, because it's quite a non-traditional depiction. We start going into my ceramics class, and thumbnails for a dinner set that I made completely out of ceramics. Each piece was, fork, knife, plate, napkin, bowl, and spoon. And each piece had a fact about food inequality stamped into it. And it's called A Seat at the Table. You can see that if you go onto my website. It has its own page. And then now we start going into a couple character studies and doodles for a children's book that I'm working on. That's my art class sketchbook. This is my most recent finished sketchbook. It's 9x12. It's my biggest sketchbook that I've used. I love it a lot. It's from Jerry's Artorama. The brand is Reflection. And so this one has a lot more sort of like fully fleshed out pieces. Here we have Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson. If you do not know them, you should. They were 2 of the people that were at the Stonewall riots, and it is said that Marsha P. Johnson threw the first shot glass, called the shot glass heard around the world, and it is one of the many movements, protests, riots in the U.S. that pioneered our LGBT rights. And they were both trans sex workers of color, and they were just really profound and incredible women. 2 of many, of course. You'll notice some sketchbook pages that were from another sketchbook and brought into this one because I spilled coffee on it, and it got moldy, which is gross and sad. And throughout the sketchbook is when we kind of first start seeing some tattoo designs and the taped in transfer paper of past tattoos, which I think is very exciting, very cool. And I think this is really cool to see because it is obviously a paint palette, but it is oil paint and it's all flesh tones. Kind of see that I was definitely at this time in my element of oil painting portraits, which is what I do now. This is the musician Ivy Rose, and she's Ivy Rose Music on YouTube, and her covers are so incredible. My favorites are The Night We Met, her cover of Creep, and her cover of Billie Holiday. And so here at the end of the sketchbook, obviously you can see that. Oh, fuck me, I just spilled coffee all over my old sketchbooks. Classic. Well, good thing we already went through those. Alright, these are my 2 current sketchbooks. So we'll go through this one first because I think this one I've had the longest. And I got this second sketchbook, and since then I have drawn a lot less in this one. Since this one is so small, it does serve me as, you know, a carry-around little notepad, which I jot down my ideas in and kind of research some of my ideas and fully flesh them out a little bit more. It's Tan France from Queer Eye, Antony Porowski from Queer Eye. This is Flex Mommy on Instagram, and she's also really incredible. She has a lot of wisdom to give, and she also has some fire looks. This is Jonathan Van Ness from Queer Eye. This has since turned into a oil painting, which is on my art Instagram. And these are all quotes from Alok V. Menon's performance that they did at my school, and they are just so full of wisdom and brimming with thought-provoking things to say and just really wonderful things. And luckily I was carrying this with me and I was able to write down some of the things that they said, which were just really incredible. I highly suggest you follow them. That is everything. Oh, and Adam JK. I got some art from him and really love the cards he puts with his stuff, and that's where the sticker is from. And that brings us to our current sketchbook. It doesn't erase very well, so it challenges me to not really erase very much when I am drawing. So you'll see here that I have many pages of figure drawing, and I found this really wonderful figure drawing reference website from Robin Sealark on YouTube. She is my favorite YouTube artist. She has so much wisdom and so many wonderful thought-provoking things to say. And all of her videos, even the ones seeming more innocuous that are just time lapses, she does voiceovers that are just really thoughtful. And I got that reference website from her, and I will also link it below because it is really wonderful. On that website, they give you figure drawing references that are from the public domain, and they cycle through the photos in the speed that a class would take. So, you know, in intervals of, 10 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's a really good exercise of drawing. So these are prints that I've made. I made this for Natalie in an art trade that we did. You can see her half of it on Instagram as well. She's Ketchup Kiddo again. And I have these in my shop if that's, I don't know, something you're interested in. And here I start story blocking that animal story, and here I started writing out the children's book story that I am trying so hard to learn how to illustrate children for. It's called Can I Hug You? And it's a storybook on consent. And this is a drawing exercise that I learned from Drawing with Waffles. It is the Pinterest challenge. Really pushes some boundaries. And that is where we leave off in this sketchbook for now. So hopefully this was informative, fun to watch, nice, cute, sweet, fine. Hopefully this was okay. Thank you guys so much for taking your time to watch this. Really appreciate it. So stay safe, have fun, peace and love.